Ready? Matrix. Week 4. We have a four-way tie for first place between Where's the Beef Brady, the Dingleberries, Greg's splendid team, and somehow Rams Rule are all 3-1. This is the time of the season when we separate the men from the boys, from the Canadians, from the women, from the CJ Spillers. Oh, he had a good week last week. CJ Spiller's not that bad. Yes, he is. All right, so we're going to do power rankings. Quick recap of the games. I'm not going to do a full breakdown this week. And then I'll probably talk about who owes me money. So here are the Week 4 games I'm going to go through real quick. If you want a full breakdown, view them with whatever device you're using to view this video. Chip Kelly Slaves beats With My Nipples. With My Nipples, they got a good performance from Drew Brees and no one else. My guys did okay. Let me tell you, Le'Veon Bell, he looks damn good. I'm glad I got this guy back. Rams Rule, they beat 2 Live Jew. Rams Rule is the worst 3-1 team I have ever seen, but they keep winning. And that's all that counts. 2 Live Jew, the best 0-4 team. Dingleberries, I had them ranked number 1. I still do, you'll see. They lost in a huge upset to the Huevos. Huevos are like the Rams. They beat good teams and lose to bad ones. Jeremy Hill got a lot of points for him. Where's the Beef Brady? 120 points. Even with Brady out, his guys still put up a lot of points. Eli put up a lot of points. Raging Ray Rice, they went from scoring 170 points to a mere 62. Wolf Forks Chode, they had a bad week. And Greg's splendid team, they didn't have the greatest week either, but I guess 81 points was enough this week. Sometimes it is. So here's the power rankings. I based these on not how people are now, but how I think every team's going to be going forward based on the players they have right now, if that makes any sense. So I have the Dingleberries ranked number 1. And the real story here is depth. Their starters are pretty damn good. They've got a good running back core. They've got Matt Ryan, who's probably a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year. But they've got great guys on their bench, too. They've got Allen Robinson, Gurley, who was really good last week, looked like a top 10 running back. And they have Hyde, too. And he had Devonta Freeman just sitting on his bench, and the guy was just going off for 2 weeks. I think he's going to start him this week. So, even with injuries, I think Dingleberry's team is the most resilient. As for Where's the Beef Brady, I have them ranked 2, but they're close because their starters are probably just as good as Dingleberry's. He's just lacking the depth. Obviously, he's got Brady, who even when he was out, he had Eli Manning filling in and getting a ton of points. And he's got Adrian Peterson, who's having an awesome year already. Brandon Marshall, I think he got him late in the draft, but he's been paying off. I think I overlooked him myself. When Perriman comes back, if what's-his-face, Steve Smith is out still, this guy could be putting up some points too. Also, he's had 0 transactions. Put that in perspective. This is a guy who's confident in his team. Greg's splendid team. It's got Ivory. Now, the Jets are finally using Ivory effectively. He's been great this year, and I'd say Greg has strong running backs overall. He's had some problems, though, that caused him to go down a little bit. Devontae Adams is hurt, and it looks like on his bench, Dunbar is going to be out for the year. So Greg's depth suffered a little bit, so it caused him to go down. Tied for 4 and 5, the Huevos and Raging Ray Rice. The Huevos, they've got great wide receivers. They've got Julio Jones, probably the best wide receiver right now. I mean, you can tell last week they put like triple coverage on the guy. And he also has DeAndre Hopkins, who is just, consistent this year. He's got Hill and Ingram, who have been inconsistent running backs, which caused them to be ranked down a little bit lower. And he's got some lottery tickets on the bench. So we'll see how that pans out. As for Triple R, Palmer, that's a really good pickup for him. I think Palmer's probably a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year. Larry Fitzgerald, who he also seems to have, is making a bounce back. And he's got Odell Beckham. What happened to him, though, is Steve Smith got hurt, and he was putting up some major points. So that's going to affect Raging Ray going forward. The 2 Live Jew. Now, I look at this guy's team, and I'm like, how the hell is he 0-4? He's got Forte and Lynch. Sure, Lynch got hurt, but he's still got 2 very good running backs. His tight end is great. Greg Olsen is an awesome tight end, and he's got great depth at wide receiver. He's got Amari Cooper, James Jones, Evans, and Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know what's going on here. I think it's the quarterback trouble maybe, because Flacco put up about 8 points this week for him. So maybe that's where he's hurting. As for Will Forks Chode, he's got Antonio Brown and Keenan Allen. Very solid wide receivers this year. He's got a lot of chips in Latavius Murray, and he's got Arian Foster online now after the trade that happened last week. So we'll see how he is going forward. And Gates is also coming back this week. If anyone's going to be moving up in power rankings, I think it's going to be Will Forks Chode, because his bench is starting to come together. As for Andre Johnson, though, that was a bust on his part. Chip Kelly Slaves, my team. I had some guys, I guess I fell for the hype and they fell short. Cooks has not been good, and Lamar Miller, he hasn't been bad, but he's been underutilized. He just hasn't gotten enough touches. Hopefully, whoever the Dolphins' new coach is will be utilizing him more, because he's averaging 4 yards per carry, which is pretty good. And I was also missing Le'Veon Bell for the first 2 weeks, and when Bell came back, he's just been tearing it up. He looks really good, so I could see myself moving up, but I'm going to need some help at the wide receivers position. The Rams rule. They're 3-1, but their team has suffered a ton of injuries. They lost Roethlisberger, Dez Bryant, and T.Y. Hilton's been kind of hurting, and when he is okay, Andrew Luck just hasn't been playing well. His running backs and his starting wide receivers are just not too good right now. C.J. Anderson's been a bust for him this year, and he's just scoring enough points to get by at this point. So you got to give Rams rule credit, but hopefully he'll find some help on the waivers maybe. With my nipples, he's got Andrew Luck now, so he's got some help at quarterback. Obviously, Gronkowski's awesome. I think John Brown's been inconsistent for him, and his starting running backs just haven't been too good. Gore hasn't been that great. He had one good game, I think, and he had an injury to Djax. He's also got some old tight ends. He's got Heath Miller and Jason Witten. With my nipples, man. He loves his tight ends. So those are the power rankings. We'll see how this goes. Moves up and down, but it's still pretty close at this point. All right, so that's week 4. Best of luck to everyone going forward. Hopefully I'll see some good waiver action and some trades coming up. As for dues, Ryan, Austin, and Greg, you guys owe me money. I'll be over at Austin and Mark's place Thursday, I think, so you can get me money then if you want.